Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. That's right, man, and I'm back to do just that. So I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. If this is your first time joining my show, please hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on other social media platforms, which are all listed below this video. Now, with that being said, let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, I need to know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yeah, check one, check one. Oh, yeah, let's see. Sheila Keen. Okay, all right. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm looking. I'm checking. Can you hear me? Oh, I see it starting up over here. So that means YouTube must have started to chat. It might be a delay. Smoke and mirrors. Okay, I see. Don, what's up? Yes. Well, then that's all I need to hear to get busy. Yeah, man. Word to the mother. Like a real gorilla, real gorilla, real gorilla. Get some teams in the building. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Speaking of which, in Kevin's Corner store, I'm about to drop out some new gorilla gear. Some real gorilla gear. So if you get a chance, check it out. Go to that store. Also, don't forget the number on the screen, 330-974-4607 is the number you can text MAGA to just in case they try some shenanigans on this here platform. And then if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can do that through my Cash App and my PayPal. The links are below that video. Now let's get into it because you all heard the news. Somebody tried again. They did it again, man. Which is a little concerning, but not shocking, considering what we're about to hear in a minute as we go through some of the live stream tonight. But let's start off, though, by hearing, it's reporting from, I guess, Fox News this morning. Let's see, or at least I think it was Sunday. Let's see what Maria
President Trump is safe after a second attempt on his life yesterday. This time happening at the Trump International Golf Course in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Police say the suspect is this man, Ryan Wesley Routh, pictured moments after his arrest. Police describing him as detached when he was brought into custody.
Other words, crazy. Yeah. Now I'm wondering if he's an ultra MAGA guy who decided for some reason he would honor Trump by trying to, take him out. Now, I wonder if that's how MAGA folks, decide, you know what? We want to win this election so bad, and we support Trump so much that we want to take him out. We want to take him out. You think that's his motivation? I mean, what motivation you think this guy might have? I don't even have to know. Just the fact that he tried to do this lets me know what squad he's on. But nonetheless, let's hear a little more about this guy.
An AK-47 rifle pictured here, seen by Secret Service agents as the barrel poked through a chain-linked fence. Sheriff's deputies also seized a GoPro camera nearby, along with a backpack. Trump was on his fifth hole when the suspect was spotted. Secret Service opened fire on him shortly after. Authorities say Routh was anywhere between 300 and 500 yards away from the former president.
Now, what I don't understand is how this keeps occurring. For the simple fact, 300 to 500 yards away from him. Now, think about the set of circumstances that are happening to allow these people to even come close to this. With the first guy, this guy knew what rally to come to. He knew where the soft spot would be. Apparently, he must have known. I mean, there's only so much luck you can have. He must have known that building, that slightly sloped building, was outside of the perimeter. He must have known that. He must have known that just so happened all the stars in the moon would align to where there would be nobody looking at the top of that roof. He must have known that. He must have just known with his crystal ball that nobody would be up in that tower. And all of these circumstances came together to give this guy an opportunity to take a shot at the president. Then we go to this. Nobody walking the perimeter. This guy set up a nest. He set up a sniper's nest. That means it was there. Means it was there. Nobody did a sweep or nothing like that. Secondly, how did this guy know that on that day, Trump would be at that golf course in that spot? I'm just wondering. I'm wondering how these circumstances keep happening. I mean, what luck these people have. This guy's like, you know what? The schedule of the president isn't released today. Nobody knows where he's going to be, but I'm going to take a shot in the dark that he's going to be at this golf course right about this time, right out there 300 to 500 yards away. And I'm going to set up my nest, but nobody is going to discover it. Nobody's going to discover it. No dogs, no sniffers, no nothing. Nobody takes a walk across the perimeter. Nobody stops to think that if I was the bad guy and I wanted to do something bad to the president, where would I set up? What would I do? Where would I be? All of these things nobody is thinking about. So these two just got really, really lucky. But in this case, at least somebody who isn't compromised must have spotted this guy before he could do anything and start shooting at him. So let's go ahead and listen and see what the rest of this got to.
In the bushes where this guy was is a AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of. So those are being processed right now.
Rifle was pointed out, our agents engaged. We are not sure right now if the individual was able to take a shot at our agents, but for sure our agents were able to engage with the subject.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad at least we know somebody on Secret Service is not compromised. I mean, apparently the person who spotted him took a shot, but that doesn't mean somebody else is going, God dog it, man. He saw him too early. That doesn't mean somebody else in the Secret Service ain't going, man. Boy. See, so I got questions. I'm starting to lean towards maybe we need a backup plan when it comes down to protection, some extra reinforcements or something, but nonetheless, but let's hear about this guy though.
Suspect has been identified as Ryan Wesley Routh. His social media profile on both Facebook and X before both got scrubbed.
Got scrubbed. Why are we scrubbing things now? We know though, if this man was a right winger, if he was a white supremacist, he was a white national. Yeah, they would have left that up there. Left it up there for all to see and read. To marinate. For the media to pick it apart and talk about it constantly. He's a part of the Proud Boys. He's also a member of the Oath Keepers. He also trained with the white supremacists up in the mountains that the Maxine Waters said existed. They would have left that mess up there. But they took it down for some reason. Now the FBI swoops in and they start their investigation. I don't like it. They got a tendency to cover up evidence, to sweep evidence under the rug, to put evidence like that laptop inside the cabinets and leave it there. Like Hunter Biden's laptop, just leave it there. We had it for like a year and a half before it came out. But then, you know what? We were going to get to it. Eventually. Or they'll just say, now it's just an ongoing investigation. We can't talk about it. Getting rid of bodies and stuff like that and cleaning off the top of roofs. And I don't trust them. So now his stuff gets scrubbed. But before it got scrubbed, we found out a little bit about him.
Interestingly enough, showed that he was an avid Democrat supporter.
Oh!
He was a radical activist for pro-Ukraine
Get out of
causes.
here.
And there were records of several donations from him to left-wing causes. Again, before X took down his profile.
But wait a minute, Doctor. Wait a minute, Dr. Twirly. Where are all the right-wing extremists? Nala, no. Go play. I got Nala in here with me, y'all, because she was whining, but she's pulling on stuff. But anyway, where are all the right-wing extremists out there trying to take out the other squad? Nobody? I mean, I don't think nobody's interested in taking out any of the other squad. First of all, that's not our style. Secondly, they're raggedy. Nobody's going to prison for those two, either one of them. Yeah, they probably don't even need security. They probably could walk the streets and nobody would. If I literally saw Kamala Harris walking down the street with no Secret Service, I wouldn't even speak to her. I would walk right past. I wouldn't even go up to her like, hey, aren't you? It'd just be like, yeah, just cackle her over there and keep walking. Same thing with creepy. But nonetheless, Trump being high profile and demonized so much, look at this. What could have motivated this guy to take that chance to go after him?
Well, a number of users were able to screenshot some posts he made
Before
directed
the
at
FBI got it
Biden,
down.
like this one. Your campaign should be called something like CASHAPP. Keep America democratic and free. Trump should be massa, making Americans slaves again.
Slaves again, y'all. Now, what type of susceptible person would believe such a thing? Somebody with mental, issues that probably is listening to MSNBC, CNN, the Democrats, things like that. Because notice what he says at the end.
Democracy is on the ballot.
Oh my God, how many times have we heard that? Democracy, 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 democracy. In November, democracy's on the ballot. Democracy, democracy, democracy. And this guy repeats it. Democracy is on the ballot. Now, can you imagine if this man was a right-winger and talking about making America great again, it's on the ballot? These MAGA folks, these ultra-MAGA folks, these right-wingers, these conservatives, these white nationalists, these Trump supporters, it would be all over the place. So now we got proof that this man has been motivated directly by the rhetoric coming out of the Democrat Party and the fake news. No denying this one.
Cannot lose. We cannot afford to fail. The world is counting on us to show the way.
But Liz Peek, here we are sitting here. In a 3-month period, we've got 2 attempts on President Trump's life, clearly unprecedented.
2 to what? 2 to 0? There it is, 2 to 0. So let's see what this lady has to say about this.
Yeah, good morning, Maria. And what's really disturbing is that the social media posts by this fellow who has given money to Democrat causes in recent years sound very much like what you're hearing from Democrat politicians, that Trump is a threat to democracy.
Well, now go figure. I mean, how are you going to wiggle your way out of this one, left? Right after the first assassination attempt, we need to tone down the rhetoric. Turn down the rhetoric. Trump's an essential threat to democracy. He's a threat to democracy. Hitler, Trump's a threat to democracy. Now, if you got somebody who ain't wrapped too tight and you keep bombarding their brain, their cranium with he's a threat to democracy, good grief. I mean, wouldn't you be concerned about it? Now, as much as we on the right feel that the radical left and these globalists and this deep state is a threat to our republic, we're not doing stuff like this. We recognize the severity of this election coming up. We know that this is the most important election, but are we taking drastic means? Are we saying, well, you know what, we can't leave it up to the people? Are we listening to Trump and somehow interpreting when he says this is the most important election in our history? Are we interpreting that as go out and do something crazy? Nope. Liberals, leftists do this. And somehow we get pegged in being people who are inciting violence. We're the radicals. We're the extremists. So let's continue, because this woman right here is, she's calling it out.
So I don't think this is happening in a void. I think this is absolutely purposeful, that Democrats have made this man public enemy number 1, and there is really a target on his back, Maria.
Public enemy number 1. Now, are you surprised that somebody would try something like this? If you've been hearing constantly, Hitler, Mussolini, threat to democracy, taking back women's rights, sending black folks back to Africa, hates all illegal immigrants, hates all immigrants, hates all people of color, all of these things. If you've been hearing this constantly and you're not wrapped too tight, and some folks are wrapped tight, but yet not. In other words, they might not do something like what this guy's doing, but they believe it. That's the problem. They might not act upon things like that guy, but in the back of their head, they're, oh, wait, did you hear what Trump said? It's going to be a bloodbath. Did you hear that Trump said he never said that he disavows the white nationalists, the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan members? You hear that Trump is a Russian agent? You hear how many charges Trump got? Why isn't Trump in jail? Why is he keeping these charges? How much evil is he getting away with? You hear this constantly coming out of folks that you would assume are sane. But that TDS done got hold to them enough to where they believe in the stupidity that comes out of the left. Now, instead of the left going ahead and say, oops, maybe we went too far. Maybe we pushed this guy over the ledge. Nah, you think that's their style? You think they're going to come out and make that confession? They didn't even make that confession the first attempt. They tried to make it seem like it's just this overwhelming, I guess, mysterious entity that is, turning up the rhetoric. We don't know where it's coming from. This political climate is too high. We need to turn down the rhetoric. Who needs to turn down the rhetoric? Who needs to cool it off? Get more specific. I want some names, organizations, things like that.
And in fact, this came up at the debate last week. President Trump pointed out all of this negative rhetoric and said this is putting his life in danger. Watch this.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy.
Yeah, what about that? The Federalist writes this morning. Democrats did the opposite of, quote, lower the temperature between Trump assassination attempts. The Federalist writes, when an assassin first attempted to take Trump's life at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally in July, Democrats and the media everywhere overlooked their roles in stoking the flames of hatred.
Of course. It's never them. See, yeah, that's what it is. I don't know who you're talking to. It ain't us. I mean, but somebody out there turning up the heat. You know, we got some people out there, man, you know. I mean, the rhetoric is too, but not us, not us. We're even keeled. We're level-minded. We're fair and balanced. We're neutral. We're just here to report the facts. That's all. Well, we're going to go ahead and have to fact check whether they're really there just to support the facts. That's what we're going to see. Because, see, we don't want Maria and these people saying these things, and we just go ahead and believe it. We need examples, right? See, we just don't come up with rumors and stuff like that. We need examples. So, you know, we're going to see if the rhetoric is really coming out of these folks. Thank you. Somebody said hit that, yeah, because I'm stuck at 199,000. Yeah, so hit that subscribe button.
I believe that 100%. Look, Darren and I have been police officers a long time, and we know there are a lot of people walking the streets on the edge. All they need is a reason, an excuse. And
don't push them because they're close to the edge. That crazy man almost lost his head. But yeah, every lunatic, they push him right off the edge. Seems like they go and get all the crazy nut jobs to do their bidding. All of the rioting, all of the looting, all of the protesting, all of them seem a little unhinged. They don't seem like they're wrapped too tight. But nonetheless, let's continue.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of people in Congress, Democrats in particular in this case, who have a lot of influence. And it takes just their words, just something they said to cause an attempted assassination on President Trump. These individuals that are increasing their rhetoric are allowing these others to go out and pull the trigger.
Now,
wow. Those are big words.
Astonishingly, even though this fellow, Ryan Wesley Routh, is explicitly parroting Democrat and legacy media talking points.
So y'all got that? You can't mistake that, right? Because we all saw what he had posted. He said that democracy is on the ballot. Now, we know who that comes from. We're not the ones walking around, yeah, now what, democracy's on the ballot in November. All right, so that's a liberal, left-wing Democrat fake news talking point. So we know where he's getting that from, where that seed has been planted, the source of the seed. We know that. But watch this.
There, Lester Holt of NBC News, true to form, appeared to blame the shooting on Donald Trump.
Today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself.
On the campaign trail itself. So I'm sure Lester Holt is about to reference that statement. I mean, the perfect example is Kamala Harris and all the Democrats continually say that Trump is a existential threat and he's a threat to democracy and our way of life. And as you see, the person who attempted to assassinate Trump quoted them exactly. So therefore, you would think that's what he's going to say, right? But instead,
Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio. This weekend, there were new bomb threats in that town.
That guy needs a football to the groin. So now he goes from the heated rhetoric and Trump's assassination and all of that, the attempt to assassinate. But J.D. Vance and Donald Trump continues it. So let me get this straight. You got them talking about illegal immigrants and cats and dogs possibly being eaten and some birds and stuff, versus Trump's an existential threat to our whole country and a threat to democracy, and he's Hitler. So now, you're telling me folks are crazy enough to say, man, because of these cats and ducks and stuff down there that might be getting eaten, I'm going to go down there and start up some violence, man. I'm going to jail for the cats and the ducks, baby. Hey, I'm going to lay it all on the line. Throw my whole life away. Now, folks that are on the right don't do that stuff. We're not crazy. We just sit back, we laugh at it and say it's a shame, but that's about it. That's about it. But this guy takes one of their talking points and goes to work. If it wasn't for that Secret Service guy seeing him, who knows what would have happened. But Lester Holt decides to aim his blame at Trump and J.D. Vance.
Our Maggie Vespa is in Columbus, Ohio, with more.
Lester, simply put, Springfield, Ohio has been inundated by threats. Over the last several days, closing government buildings, schools, hospitals, today effectively closing a local university campus after administrators said someone threatened a mass shooting targeting Haitians. This in light of, officials say, a false online conspiracy theory alleging Haitian immigrants in that city are eating people's pets.
Now, guess what? If I'm just thinking like the enemy. Okay, I'm thinking like the enemy. I'm thinking like a Democrat. See, and in my case right now, they're the enemies. I'm talking about the Democrat politicians and the liberal media and the deep state. If I was them and I felt that Trump said something that was controversial and I could paint it as racist, I could use it to bludgeon him. I could use it to also demonize his voters. What I would do is I would figure out how I could go ahead and make all these type of threats without them being able to find out it's me. And then blame it on the right. Blame it on Trump. If I was the Democrats and I was responsible for all of this mess going on down there in Springfield, and I wanted to divert away from the fact that these people are suffering because of my policies and choices, I would say, you know what? Why don't we focus on Trump talking about the cats and the ducks and stuff, and then deem him to be a racist and say, because he's saying that, all of these death threats are being thrown down there. So therefore, Trump and JD, shut your mouths. Don't be talking about how horrible we ran that city into the ground. Don't be talking about our raggedy choices to put these people in this situation. Because every time you recognize the garbage that the Democrats are doing, you put people's lives in jeopardy. Only to find out now, though, after they have spent so much time trying to say that it's Trump and J.D. Vance's rhetoric that's causing all of this, Mike DeWine comes out today and says that out of 33 of these, I guess, calls or threats, every single one of them was a hoax. And most likely were being sent from overseas. Meaning this, if we do have enemies in other countries watching how stupid the Democrats are, how obsessed they are with identity politics and race, how much they hate Trump and want to divide our country through racial attacks and saying your motive for saying this is because you hate Haitians, you hate blacks. If I was an enemy, I would say, let's instigate this mess. Let's sow chaos. Let's go ahead and put on some robocalls, because what they gonna do? I mean, what they gonna do? If folks in the U.S. might be making these calls, they might be able to trace some stuff like that. But nonetheless, if I was an enemy and I wanted to sow chaos, I would just put Smirnoff or somebody or whomever, make some calls over there and say, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that, And so now, after all of this demonizing Trump and JD, after all of these accusations that Trump and JD is responsible for all of this stuff and this rhetoric is drawing all this violence and these people are under threat now because they recognized the Democrats' handiwork, we find out that it had nothing to do with J.D. Vance and Trump. These are all hoaxes. But you think that the fake news waited to see who was responsible or behind it? You think the fake, no. They didn't do that. Let's see what they really did.
Do you expect there to be calls from within the Trump campaign to do that?
Y'all hear that? So Trump's rhetoric about the ducks and the cats and the dogs led to someone wanting to take him out. He brought it on himself. There it is. Somebody got so mad that Trump made these comments about the cats and the chickens and the dogs and the bats and the snakes and the rabbits and the chickens and the horses and all that stuff. They got so mad that they said, oh, I got to take this dude out for this. Or did that guy say, I got to take him out because I feel he's a threat to democracy? Yeah. Nothing to do with the cats and the dogs. He repeated something the Democrats are saying. He didn't repeat anything that Trump and them are saying.
Because he's going to reach out to his supporters and say, let's take this down.
These people are so foul. These people are so foul. They're literally trying to say that Trump needs to cool it down. Trump needs to bring down the rhetoric. It's Trump's rhetoric about what's going on down there in Springfield that I guess caused him to almost be assassinated again. I guess that's what they're saying. And I'm thinking to myself, they have no shame. Yeah, they know it's a bad look. They know that it's the probability of 2 attempted assassinations in a span of 2 months. It's unheard of. So what could be contributing to it? See, that's my point. Nobody's trying this on their side. Like I said, how many attempts did somebody? Nobody's doing this to them. What could be making these folks want to take Trump out? Interesting. But I guess it's Trump. It's Trump that's making people want to take him out.
We do not know, again, the source of any gunshot or gunshots. We don't know who's responsible for this. The whole thing to be 100% confirmed from start to finish how this all played out. But do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric?
This is fascinating. This is, man, I want to, you know what? I wish I could rent Dumbo the elephant to fly over MSNBC and doo-doo right on top of their building. Repeatedly. Talking rapid fire, machine gun type turds all over their I want the whole building covered in doo-doo. That is how horrible they are. Do you think that somebody from the Trump administration is going to reach out and I'm saying, didn't even pretend to fix their lips to say maybe the Kamala the administration, the Harris administration needs to. The attack was from somebody on the left. And she's talking about Trump and them needs to turn down the violence and the rhetoric.
Toning down the violence, or would that be
This guy doesn't understand who our friends are.
Oh, well, look at this, guys. This is a Democrat. This is before I guess we find out about the assassination attempt. I'm sure this lady's going to be measured with her accusations and her rhetoric.
And he also doesn't understand who we are as a nation, which we are a country of immigrants, and the demonization of any group of people, whether it's black folk and saying, you know what, we need to go out and make sure that officers have immunity to just go ahead and kill them criminally.
Do you hear what she just said? She just led people to believe that Trump wants to give immunity to police officers to go out and just kill black people. That's not inflammatory. Yeah, that's not hyperbole. That's not encouraging anybody to think the worst of Trump. Literally, just got out there and said that. But it gets worse.
Or whether we're talking about those that he says, oh, all of the Hispanics that are coming in, they're going to rape your children. Listen, the problem isn't the people coming in. The problem is this guy and his people here that are.
Now she's talking about us. You better pump your brakes, fake woman. You better pump your brakes with that long dang on. You talking about killing cats and dogs. Somebody done killed a horse for her to come out with that long asymmetric weave. Somebody got hold to a horse so she could come out with those eyelashes. Dang on it. Now they're talking about that and his people. So it's not the left. It's us doing all of this stuff. So wait. You're demonizing folks because what? You're calling out their behavior? So that's the defense they go with every time. Whenever you criticize their work or the people that they've worked with, meaning we brought all these illegal immigrants in, and as soon as they start doing stuff to act a fool, when they start acting up, we can't blame them. We can't point out them acting up. We can't call it out. No. Because when you do that, what you're doing is demonizing them. You're demonizing them. Well, we wouldn't have to do that, first of all, if they weren't here. Okay, that's the first thing. But nonetheless, let's finish listening to her make up lies. And of course, inflammatory statements like this could lead to possible things like what just took place.
Are doing the bomb threats throughout our country. Domestic terrorism is a real thing.
Yeah, it sure is. But it ain't coming from us. The bomb threats. You mean all the fake ones that y'all fell for? If these are coming from overseas, you guys are peddling Russian talking points. You're doing the bidding of our enemies. You're falling for it. They know exactly what Democrats like to hear. I mean, if I was an enemy, I would be like, oh, the Democrats are going to be all over this. All over. How about we do this? Throw that out there and watch him take the bait. Oh, it's Donald Trump and all of his rhetoric. He's demonized. That's the reason these threats are coming in. And sitting back laughing at these fools because they don't even pretend to wait for any evidence, get to any facts. They're like, whoa, we get a shot at making Trump and them look bad. So not only can we talk about, there's no evidence about these cats and these the birds and stuff getting taken out. There's no evidence. Not only that, you're putting all these people in danger and you're demonizing the illegal immigrants. I'm sorry, undocumented citizens.
And he is the guy that stokes it.
Donald Trump stokes domestic terrorism. Y'all understand that? How many domestic terrorist cases that taken place where we were involved? I'm sorry. How many assassination attempts took place from us on our? None? None? Okay. All right. How many summer of loves have we committed? None. How many police stations have we taken over and occupied or burned down? None. Okay. Okay. Yeah. How many folks have we drug out of their cars and beat them in the middle of the street for no reason during the summer of love and riots and all of that stuff? None. None. But we're the biggest threat. We're the domestic terrorists. Donald Trump's pushing hate. He's pushing hate. But guys, we got another example. And this one, of course, straight out of MSNBC. Listen to what this guy allows this woman to get on her show and his show and say.
Give me your response to what Donald Trump is doing.
Okay, first of all, he needs some bass in the voice. Come on, he needs some bass in the voice. So no bass is back. No bass is back. Okay, now you hear.
Give us the example of what Donald Trump said he was doing.
Domestic terrorism is a real thing, and he is the guy that stokes it.
Give me your response to what Donald Trump is doing.
What Donald Trump is doing. Y'all hear that? He wants her response to what Donald Trump is doing. You see him with the tight knees under the table? You see him with the tight knees? That's right. He's not sitting like this. He's sitting like this. There you go. The tight knees, and he wants her to tell him all kind of bad stuff about Donald Trump.
It is outrageous. It's horrifying, but it's expected from a fascist authoritarian person who wants to create havoc in this country.
Fascist authoritative person who wants to create havoc in this country. There it is. You see tight knees, no bass? You see no bass, tight knees?
Sitting there just listening to all of this inflammatory languages. You think he's cooling down the rhetoric? You think that's what's happening?
This guy sits right there and says that,
tell me more basically about Donald Trump.
And she says, authoritative fascist. There it is. That wants to create and wreak havoc for no reason, right? Now see, here's, once again, I got to go back to this. This is just writing 101. If you're creating a narrative or a story that has characters involved and you got a protagonist and an antagonist, you can't just make the antagonist evil for nothing. You got to give some type of motive for their evilness. He just wants to wreak havoc in the country. There it is. That's his motive. He just woke up and just said, man, you know what I'm all about? I'm all about wreaking havoc in the country. Really? That's what you came up with? But see, dumb people, they don't need a reason. They're not sitting back going, how unbelievable of a statement is that? They're going, that's right. He's all about sowing chaos in our country and dividing us. Let's continue though, because she gets even worse.
Who wants to take us to Nazi Germany. I can't even talk, Nazi Germany. We export.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now you see what I'm talking about? And you wonder why this guy tried to take Trump out. Trump wants to take us to Nazi Germany. This is, I never thought I would live to be able to see something like this being said on TV. Do you understand how crazy of a statement that is? And the bad part is there are people out there that believe it. I hear people calling him Nazi all the time. But she's saying he wants to take us to Nazi Germany. How? How does he want to do that? Boy, these people, I mean, what burns me up about this. They are excluding the fact that Trump is beloved by people of all races. Jews, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, Indians, Christians, Muslims, all of this. So what, all of us are on board with this? All of us can't see Hitler and his diabolical scheme? When is he opening up the concentration camps? That's what I'm wondering. Why didn't he even start that his first 4 years? Why didn't he even start it? Where are they, Trump? This is unreal that they would let this woman sit up here and no base, tight knees, is letting her rip off all of this garbage. But it gets worse. You think that's bad? You think that's bad? That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing.
We exported racism, fascism to Nazi Germany.
Yeah, Democrats sure did. The Democrats sure did. The Nazis took their playbook, the Jim Crow laws, took it right over there. Like, don't worry, we have a new plan. All we have to do is just take what the Democrats have done and put put Nazi playbook. They just took it. But here she is talking about we exported racism over to Nazi Germany. Yeah, you're talking about the Democrats, right? Historian.
We exported it to South Africa, Jonathan. We know how to do it. We're good at it.
And you're still doing it. You're still pushing racism all over the place.
And let's not pretend that Donald Trump isn't exactly like Mussolini, exactly like Hitler. He is that guy. And I want to pick up where Tara was for just a second and say something to the American people. I live in a neighborhood, Jonathan. You and I both have white partners.
Unbelievable. Did you hear what she just said? First of all, she said Trump is equivalent to Mussolini and Hitler. Mussolini and Hitler. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not inflammatory. And that's toning down the rhetoric. As tight knees, no base, sits there and go,
Yes, that's fascinating.
And then guess what she just said, y'all? You see, soul sister number one, pro-black power to the people. Oh, you see her, she got the dreadnoughts. There it is, man. Talking about all the Asiatic black man. And said, hey, Jonathan, you and I both have what? White partners. Why is always the most pro-black, race-baiting folks always got white partners? Live in a white neighborhood. Wait a minute, let's hear it again. Yeah, see, she thought I didn't catch that.
And I want to pick up where Tara was for just a second and say something to the American people. I live in a neighborhood, Jonathan. You and I both have white partners.
White partners? You got to be kidding me. How does the white man live with her? Or white woman, I don't know, she might be gay. Whoever it is, how do you live with her? She's oozing off nothing but anti-whiteness. She is straight, so pro-black, she's mad for nothing. She's walking around sniffing up racism, and she comes in the crib like, she's sniffing around for some racism. Whoever the white person is in her life must be scared to death over in the corner. Or could it all be just a grift? Or she come in like, hey, hon, how's it going? I had to put down all of my soul sister-ism because, that's how I get paid. It's my grift. It's unreal, man. So now, the two people who are always talking about racism and stuff like that, who, they got their racism radars on, they both got white boyfriends and girlfriends. You would think she's married to the blackest of black. Her mate should be so black you can't see him. Walk in the house and gotta go, honey, are you there? Are you here? Yeah, I'm right in front of you. Oh, shoot. Oh, you gotta say something. Boy, I tell you, you're so black I can't see you. Can't see you. That's how I like it, because I'm so pro-black. That's how she should be after hearing this. But no, she got a white partner at the crib.
I live in a neighborhood, a nice mixed neighborhood.
Oh, I live in a neighborhood, a nice mixed neighborhood. I thought you was living out there where they're like, ooh, nah, nah, nah. I would think you're living out there with a hut that built you a hut. All of that. And you don't want nothing to do with. the white man in the Western civilization. You don't want nothing to do with that, sister. You should be walking around barefoot, feet ashy, bone through the nose, disc in the lip and the ears. That's what you should be, boobs out. That's what you should be walking around like. But no, she live in a mixed white neighborhood with a white partner. See, folks, are shams. It's unbelievable.
There's all kinds of people, including Republican people, who are nice people, who shovel your grass, who care about the neighborhood, who care about the world, right? Y'all, you nice people don't want this guy just because your economy worked better.
Yes, we do. So now there's the attempt to say, okay, all of the Republicans that I happen to live around, I'm trying to guilt y'all and tell y'all, look, man, forget about all your common sense, all of your rationale, all of the results of this current administration. You don't want to put this guy in office because I'm telling you, he's just a bad guy. I'm telling you, he's Hitler. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Forget your common sense. Forget the fact that I just called this man Mussolini and Hitler, and your common sense should have kicked in and said, what did she just say? And now she wants me to vote for the other person because she just got done saying that Trump was Hitler and Mussolini. You know how far out that is? I didn't know she was that radical. Yep, but that's what she wants us to think. And guess what? Christians too.
For 5 minutes under his regime, you nice Christian, kind, loving, Jewish people, faithful people, you don't want this guy. We're not these people. We're not these people. And we're not going to get what we want if we elect this fascist, authoritarian weasel.
Fascist, authoritarian weasel. Now, you see where the rhetoric's coming from? That was probably one of the worst things I've ever heard on TV. I mean, that's up there with Joey Reid right there. I mean, could you imagine those two sitting down at the same table, out-woking each other? I mean, they sitting down there, out lying, you know. It would just be a mess to see those two get together. But nonetheless, no base, tight knees. Didn't say, hey,
wait a minute. You need to tone down the rhetoric. That's a little inflammatory. You have no proof of that. And then you might inspire somebody crazy to go out and do something to Donald Trump.
He didn't do that. Sat there and then afterwards promoted her book. Told everybody to go and buy her book. And then we get to CNN. Now, I was trying to download the clip and put it in here, but I caught it late right before the show. I just watched the clip where Dana, just got asked about, hey, Donald Trump came out and said that this attempt on his life was directly a result of all the rhetoric coming out of Kamala Harris. And Dana was like, well, there's no evidence that they're behind it, and we don't know everything about them. Now, she done went ahead and ran interference for Kamala and them. She ain't said, you know what? He has some validity to that. All the rhetoric about him being she didn't do that. She didn't do that. She tried to defend Kamala. Let's see, though, if she gives J.D. Vance and Donald Trump the same courtesy.
So the mayor of Springfield, Ohio, Rob Rue, said, quote, all these federal politicians that have negatively spun our city, they need to know they're hurting our city. And it was their words that did it. Before Donald Trump talked about eating dogs and cats on a debate stage, it was you, Senator, who first elevated this baseless rumor. These are your constituents.
Baseless rumor. Now, listen to that loaded question / statement. She just gave her opening statement. They said there's these rumors and these baseless rumors that you started. Now, wait a minute. Baseless would mean this. I'm sitting around and I say, you know what? Let's just start saying that the Haitians down there in Springfield are eating cats and dogs. That's the new one we're coming out with. No, that's the stuff Democrats do when they sit around. They say, you know what, let's just throw a rumor out there. Let's just say something crazy. Let them debunk it, because they're not going to do that. That's baseless. But JD is actually going to tell her there is a base. Okay.
So why are you putting them at risk?
Oh, God. Why are you putting them at risk? You see how she's building the argument? You see how they told her to go out there and try to attack him and, of course, Donald Trump. So by saying that there are Haitians down there eating cats and dogs. She didn't say all of the Springfield people that are at risk because these folks are crashing and wrecking and some of them are violent and, you know, there's some criminals down. She ain't saying they're at risk. You know, she's not talking about the risk to them. She's talking about what? Who? The risk to just all Springfield people because he recognized and mentioned something about something they said. The actual people from Springfield were saying there's cats and ducks and stuff being taken. Yeah. So he brings that up, repeats it, and all of a sudden they're saying it like it's baseless, like he came up with it. Like he was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead out and just drop this rumor out there like that. I don't care how much chaos it starts. I'm gonna do that. So now talking about them possibly eating cats, eating ducks, all of a sudden it's putting everybody at risk. Everybody at risk. Now, do you think by saying that, that's putting anybody at risk? Ain't nobody hearing this and say, let's go down there and start rioting. Let's go down there and start attacking Haitians because there's a rumor that they might be eating chicken. If we're not going to go down there because of all the threats that some of them said they're receiving, if we're not going to go down there because of, you know, all of the violence and the crashing and all of that stuff and taking up the resources, we're not going to go down there for that. But all of a sudden they mention cats and they mention ducks and stuff, and all these right-wingers are going to decide we're going down there right now because they're talking about they're down there eating cats. And no, if anybody would go down there because of a rumor like that, it would be liberals. First of all, we might say that's messed up, man. People eating cats and ducks and stuff like that. That ain't right. But I'm not going to go down there and say, now we got to go ahead and set up a perimeter around the pond, make sure none of these Haitians come over here and try to grab one of these geese. We're not going to go down there and do that, man. But nonetheless, she frames the question like just the fact that y'all are mentioning this are putting all these people in danger. Why would you do that?
Continuing to spread claims about Haitian immigrants despite officials in your state saying that there's no evidence and pleading for you to stop.
Well, Dick,
all of that packed into that opening question. Or was it an accusation? It's unbelievable. She just straight came out. So that why would you continue to spread all these baseless rumors and lies about dogs and cats and chickens and stuff being eaten and creating all of this danger and putting all these people in danger in spite of all of these people begging you to stop, even on your squad? Why would you do that?
Anna, first of all, what's putting the residents of Springfield at risk, which was a town completely ignored by the American media until Donald Trump and I started surfacing some of these concerns, is that they can't afford housing, they can't afford health care. The schools have been overwhelmed, the hospitals have been overwhelmed, and they're overwhelmed because Kamala Harris allowed 20,000 Haitian migrants to get dropped into a small Ohio town of about 40,000 people, and it's completely overwhelmed the services. Now
that's more dangerous than a couple geese. Couple cats missing, but Dana's not interested in that. Yeah, because see, she don't want people focusing on that real danger. She wants them focused on some superficial made up danger about some cats and chickens. The fact that you mentioned it, now they're getting bomb threats and death threats and stuff like that from what? Who? Where? Oh, it's all been hoaxes. Yeah, but watch what she accuses JD of.
You ask, why have I talked about some of the things that I've been talking about? Let me just say this. My constituents have brought approximately a dozen separate concerns to me. 10 of them are verifiable and confirmable, and a couple of them I talk about because my constituents are telling me firsthand that they're seeing these things. So I have two options, Dana. I can ignore them, which is what the American media has done for years to this community, or I can actually talk about what people are telling me. And of course, many of the things that the media says are completely baseless have since been confirmed.
Just like the baseless claims about Russia collusion, baseless claims about the laptop, baseless claims about the virus coming from China, baseless claims about all the stuff they say are baseless claims, and we usually find out there was a base for it. But look at her. She's ready. Yeah, she's sitting back licking her chops like, okay, I already know that I got one mission, and that is to go ahead and keep focused on this whole cat and dog and bird thingamajigger. Now, don't allow him to use this opportunity to highlight the real danger and the real problem. Because you might catch one or two common sense people just watching CNN at the moment, and it just hit him. Like, wait a minute. You know what's more important? What he just said. You might just catch one or two people to just be like, I came here to listen to her attack him over some chickens and cats and dogs. But now that he just told me that, because I got a little bit of common sense left, I'm able to see that the real danger, the real issue is not the cats and the chickens. It's all of this. So Dana got to try to get back to the cats and the chickens.
For example, I was told, Dana, that by the American media, that it was baseless that migrants were capturing the geese from the local park pond.
And look, man, if I was from Haiti, if I was from another country and I didn't know the norms in America, I might be sitting there going, it's a perfectly good geese walking right in front of me. That's good eating. I would be wondering why everybody else isn't. I mean, like, the geese isn't even running. Over here in America, the geese come up to you. They're like, right there. You guys aren't eating these things? I might grab me one. If I was from another country, I mean, that's like us out here in America. You know, you deer hunting or something, and the deer just come up to you. You'll be like, this is a perfectly good deer. I'm about to go ahead. They're everywhere, man. You mean tell me you ain't taking advantage of these deers? Oh, over here, we don't eat deers. What? These are perfectly good deers right in front of us. Jeez, oh, man. I should have never came to Sweden. What do you mean you don't eat deers over here? But I'm sure they looking at these geese like, I don't see what the problem is, man. I'm about to take this mug home. You see how big that geese is? The whole family can eat for like 3 weeks off of that geese. So, I mean, on one hand, I'm going, I mean, I can see why they might think that. They might be looking at us like, these Americans, man, they're stupid. They're going to the store to buy meat, and all these geese just right here. And who knows, it might get so bad if Kamala get in. We all might be looking at them geese cross-eyed. Dang on it. So now, let's get back to this because, see, J.D. Vance is telling her about some 911 calls, and watch Dana.
And eating them. And yet there are 911 calls from well before this ever became a viral sensation of people complaining about that exact thing happening. So my attitude is listen to my constituents. Sometimes they're going to say things that people don't like, but they're saying things that people don't like because their town has been overwhelmed, and it's my town.
Look at her, taking a breath like, I can't wait to get back in. I cannot wait to get back in here. Whole facial expression. Now, she didn't have the stank face when she was interviewing Kamala. Yeah, she had that I'm scared face. I don't want to ask her anything too tough face. I got to be cautious when I talk, when I'm formulating my questions, how hard I want to come back on her and ask her to elaborate. Can't be too tough on her. But now she got that I'm frustrated and I can't wait to go ahead and challenge what you just said face.
To try to fight for them and to protect them. Kamala Harris opened the border, and now these people are suffering. That's what I'm focused on, Dana.
Senator, I have to go through several things that you just said. First of all, the Clark County Sheriff and the Ohio Department of Natural Resources reviewed 11 months of 911 calls. They only identified 2 instances of people alleging Haitians were taking geese out of parks.
2 people alleging. So wait, there's no base though, right? There's no basis for it. That's a basis. That's a basis. J.D. Vance didn't make those calls. Those calls happened a long time ago. You think the people were hallucinating? You think they was just doing prank calls? 2 different people. They called, said, man, look, man, I'm seeing people taking geese out of here. Then somebody else calls, hey, I'm looking at these people taking geese out the park. Do you think those are baseless? Shouldn't look into them. So wait, her justification is because they made the call. And it's 2 people. Understand, 2 people, 2 witnesses can put you in prison, give you the death penalty. 2 witnesses. And with the Democrats, you don't even need that. Look what they did to Trump and the Eugene Carroll. That was just straight he say, she say. And she came out with 85 million. Hopefully it'll get taken from her. But nonetheless, no witnesses whatsoever. And there, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. That's a baseless claim. Oh, you know what? I don't remember what date it was, where, who was around. I don't remember any of these things. Oh, she sounds credible. All of that. But now you get 2 calls And she says the basis, and then let's listen to what else she said about this. Here we go.
They found zero evidence to substantiate those claims.
There you go. So that means what? They come running over to the park. All right, where's the Haitian with the geese? They're gone, man. I mean, we just called you and let you know they were here. I don't know where they live or nothing. They took the geese and jumped in the car and was gone. Oh, well, there's no evidence. I guess it never happened. What does she expect? I mean, unless the cops went door to door, found somebody barbecuing and said, all right, is this the geese you're talking about? Can you identify the geese? The geese are gone. Nobody's going to sit back and start cutting the geese up right there. You know, just sitting there waiting for the cops to come. They're probably going to grab the geese, put it in the car, whatever, and get going. So by the time the cops get there, of course there's no evidence. And here she is, there was no evidence. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Boy, these idiots, man.
Also, other evidence that you have talked about, even you've retweeted alleged evidence, are unsourced social media videos from a different city, apparently no connection to...
Dayton is a skip, hop, and a jump away from Springfield. In fact, Springfield is like a subsidiary of Dayton. But nonetheless, some of those videos and clips were from Dayton.
Haitians. And this is from a conservative activist who offered a $5,000 reward for such things. And then going just backly to the schools and the hospitals and so forth being overwhelmed, nobody is disputing that the town of Springfield, Ohio needs help. But you're not just a bystander, you're the senator from Ohio. So instead of saying things that are wrong and actually causing the hospitals, the schools, the government buildings to be evacuated because of bomb threats.
Now, do you hear this? The accusation that she's making? She's Dana trash. She's Dana trash. So you have to understand. She's now saying that the city of Springfield needs help. Okay? But instead of you saying things and baseless rumors and stuff that, you know what, puts the whole city in danger, listen to her solution.
It's because of the cats and dogs thing.
Because of the cats and dogs thing. She's accusing JD of putting everybody in danger with these bomb threats because he's talking about the cats and dogs. She's saying this. Understand? Because, see, we're about to go ahead and catch her in a big fat lie. So instead of doing that, JD, instead of putting all these people in danger by talking about the cats and the dogs and stuff, you should do what?
Why not actually be constructive in helping to better integrate them into the community? Because
in other words, do the will and the bidding of the Democrats. Help them accomplish their goal. Integrate them into the community. Help them continue to take jobs and resources from the constituents that are already there. Help them do that. Get on board with the Democrats' agenda. That's what she means. Yeah. So why don't you help them and shut up and start bringing all of this negative attention to what the Democrats are up to? How about you do that?
A lot of employers there who say that the Haitian workers are helping fill jobs.
Bingo! Because somebody in that area, some politician or somebody, got a nice little deal perhaps, and these businesses are like, look, man, how about y'all go ahead and send us Haitians? Can we get an agreement when the Haitians come in? You guys act as some type of job reference, hub. Only for the Haitians, though. Little, backdoor type, process where, all right, we got some more Haitians. Y'all need some more of them? Yes, absolutely. So now all of a sudden, all these jobs down there in Springfield are being filled by Haitians. That's what they are. It's not that the folks in Springfield don't want to work. I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute, are they even hearing about these openings? Or are only the Haitians hearing about it? That's the question. And if that's the question, who are the politicians that approved that deal? That's my question.
That they need desperately filled.
Dana, first of all, let me just respond to a couple things that you said.
Now she done ticked JD off. She ain't dealing with a lightweight. You ain't gonna get away with just making that accusation, inflammatory accusation, saying that JD Vance, by him talking about the cats and the dogs, are causing bomb threats.
to start with something you said, which I think is frankly disgusting and is more appropriate for a Democratic propagandist than it is for an American journalist.
And that's exactly what she is. And that one cut her to the bone, because you can see, you gonna watch her response. She know that one, oh, she's like, he sees through me. He knows what I'm doing. He knows I'm a propagandist. And her response is going to tell it all.
There is nothing that I have said that has led to threats against these hospitals.
Look.
These hospitals, the bomb threats and so forth, it's disgusting. The violence is disgusting. We condemn it. We condemn all violence.
Senator, this happened after you and President Trump were on the debate stage, said that cats and dogs were being eaten.
See, that's in other words, I am a propagandist, and that's my whole job. My whole job is to silence you by insinuating that you all are being motivated by hate. You're spreading rumors. You're putting migrants in danger. You're putting Springfield citizens in danger. And all of these bomb threats and death threats are coming as a result of things that you're saying about cats and dogs being eaten. All of this chaos, all of these calamities, all of this is coming in because of you guys talking about some Haitians eating some cats and dogs. That's it. Now, remember, this rumor about these things happening was going on way before J.D. Vance or Trump even brought this to anybody's attention. Okay, so my question to her is simply recognizing it now and saying that people been saying this and there are some valid concerns about this. Now, all of a sudden, the element that started all of this is not the fact that the Haitians are taking up resources and jobs. It's not that. The key element that took it from people just being mad about the illegal immigrants taking up resources and some of them are violent and also, the key element that turned it from that to dangerous is the fact that you mentioned that they're eating the cats and the dogs. That's too far, man. I mean, I was cool with them. Throwing mattresses in front of people's yards and saying whatever. I was cool with them, you know, not knowing our social norms and having old ladies have to push through the line to get to where they're going in the store, the grocery store. I was cool with them wrecking cars all over the place. I was cool with them standing in the lines, taking up all of the time for folks that's going, man, I'm sitting here and there's 100 Haitians in front of me. I'm trying to get my social securities. I'm trying to go to the hospital. I was cool with all of that. The part that made me say I got to drop a bomb threat here or there is when J.D. Vance and them start talking about the cats and the dogs. That's what she is insinuating right there. She's not denying all the other stuff, but it's the cats and the dogs that's doing it. You see how stupid these people are?
Asked a question, Dan, and I'm going to go ahead and answer it. What we have said is that this town has suffered terribly under the policies of Kamala Harris. Now, you just accused me of inciting violence against the community when all that I've done is surface the complaints of my constituents, people who are suffering because of Kamala Harris's policies. Are we not allowed to talk about these problems because some psychopaths are threatening violence? We can condemn the violence on the one hand, but also talk about the terrible consequences of Kamala Harris's open border on the other hand.
And that's the whole goal of why they're focusing on the cats and the dogs and saying that you guys are putting people in danger. This is the same playbook they use even when they're directly accused of doing something stupid. Every Democrat that does something stupid, says something stupid, has a horrific policy, and they are, basically called out for it and criticized, the first thing they do is I'm getting death threats. Now, if these death threats or if these, bomb threats and all this stuff is not coming from overseas, then I would go so far as to bet everything that they're coming from Democrat operatives. I would bet everything. That's just my opinion. But my gut tells me there's no conservative sitting around saying, I'm about to make a prank call and say I'm about to, blow something up. I'm about to do this and this and that. That's not our style. But it is the style of the Democrats to run a whole bunch of false flags. Make it look like it's the folks on the right that's doing stuff like that. That's that's my gut. As soon as I heard it, I'm going, wait, where'd all these come from? Oh, so you're telling me now y'all getting flooded? Right after the media brings this to the attention and is running it every day on every network, talking about it, trying to go after Trump over it. And then suddenly, here comes all of the bomb threats. Here comes all of it. Oh, now you're putting everybody's life in danger. All you're inciting racism. All you're inciting violence. Once again, look what you're doing, Donald. Look what you're... Now, it's very convenient to have these threats just come in all of a sudden to support your narrative that you're inciting violence. Just the fact that you're recognizing these illegal, undocumented citizens are here is putting them in danger. And so JD calls her out, but then she's about to go ahead and make him say something else that's going to punch her right up under that big nose.
Now, let me just fact check a couple of other things that you said, Danny, because it's important. You said that all of these migrants are in the country legally. They are in the country through what's called temporary protective status.
Right.
That is when Kamala Harris waved a magic amnesty wand, taking people and giving them legal status.
And she's going to wave it again if she gets in. Yeah, if she becomes president, she's going to wave that mug again like bewitch. Let's continue.
That is not to say that they're here legally. That is a terrible indictment of her amnesty policies that have further opened the border and further
but it's
caused
not illegal.
terrible migration into this country.
You might not agree with the policy, and obviously you don't, which is totally fair and legitimate. There are policy disagreements all the time. But the fact is, it is the law because President Biden
the point
and
is,
Vice President Harris are. But I don't want to frankly go down this conversation.
No, she don't want to do that. You know why? Because she want to get back to the cats. I don't want to go down that. So she's gonna try to change the subject. I don't want to go down that. Okay. I want to go back to the cats and the dogs and how you guys and your rhetoric are putting everybody in danger. Yeah, so we put people in danger by saying things like cats and dogs are being eaten by illegal immigrants, but yet Kamala and them don't put anybody in danger by saying Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy. Democracy's on the ballot. He's an existential threat. Yeah. They're saying Donald Trump is Hitler, Mussolini, and all of that stuff. That don't put him in danger. That's not motivating crazy right, left-wing folks to do what this guy was attempting to do. No, that doesn't motivate them. I'm sure we cannot say for sure that man was inspired or motivated by what Kamala Harris and the rest of them are saying. We can't say for sure. That's what Dana said today. We have no proof that Kamala Harris rhetoric had anything to do with this guy's. No proof, even though the guy said, hey, democracy is on the ballot. But now all of a sudden, they're talking about ducks and chickens being eaten, and all of a sudden bomb threats come, and they're saying it's directly tied to you talking about the ducks and the chickens and stuff being eaten. Do they mention that on the bomb threat? Hello, I'm about to blow stuff up. Don't even bother trying to trace this call. I'm doing it to save the chickens and all of the geese and the dogs and the cats and stuff. The power to the chickens and hang up. Are they saying that? That's my question. So all of a sudden, there's no evidence to show that any of these things were tied to JD and Trump, but she went with it.
About policy because
you made a point.
You about to get it.
I agree. You don't want to talk about policy.
No, what I want to talk about
instead of about the fact,
Senator,
that
it was
Harris
your distraction.
Granted amnesty.
You were the one who started talking about eating dogs and cats.
Level.
You were the one who.
Wrong. It wasn't him. You know who started that? It was the people.
My constituents.
The president said
it was the people. The people. They're the ones that brought that up. JD wasn't sitting around in his house saying, I'm going to go ahead and, make a rumor up. I'm just going to make this rumor up.
Who talked about eating dog and cats, and I talked about it because you were ignoring this community.
Now, here's my question. When she was interviewing Chameleon Kamala, was she doing that? Was she interrupting her? After the very nice, warm opening, this is Kamala Harris. We followed her around for the last 2 weeks, only to see that she's a woman that is inspired by all of that. And then when she was talking to her, no interruptions, no going back for it, all that stuff. So JD, I think it's time to rub her big fat nose in it.
My constituents talked about
Have you
it.
been
It is
to
my
Springfield?
responsibility to surface their concerns when the American media.
Have you been to
ignores them.
Springfield?
Dana, I've been to Springfield probably 100 times in my life.
How about
I've taken my
recently?
children
How about
to get
recently?
ice cream at Young's Jersey Dairy.
Have you heard recently since you've gotten these calls?
Have I been in the last 4 days?
No,
no,
I'm
I haven't
talking
been in
about
the last 4 days, but I've
since
talked to
you've
a lot
gotten
of
these
people.
calls.
Shut her up, Jake.
And they're telling me this stuff is happening. Anna, would you like to ask me questions and then let me answer them, or would you like to debate me on these topics? I noticed that when you had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you gave them multiple choice answers to the questions that you asked, and you allowed them to answer the questions. I'm happy to be here to talk about policy.
Look at her face. She know it's true. She knows it's true. That's how you get them. That's how you get them. Take them right back and show them the difference. Yeah, we know you are a raggedy, dang on interview. You're a propagandist. Unbelievable. She like, oh, shoot, I didn't expect you to come at me like that. Probably made her feel all funny on the inside. Oh, JD. She told me, told me about myself. Ooh, boy. Anyway, you're still a white nationalist, xenophobe, but you're Republican, man. Unlike Tim Walsh and all of them. Hi, everybody. You guys, you know how to be stern when need be. Put me right back in my place. I kind of enjoyed that. All of my, all of my feminism went out the door for a second. I was like, wow, a man. Yeah, he's a grown man. He said, look, are you gonna let me talk or what? Okay, all right. Now we seen how you treated Chameleon Harris versus what you're doing to me, and she knows it's true. So look at her. She has to humble herself.
If you're going to interrupt me every single time that I open my mouth, then why am I even doing this? So please,
she likes that. She likes it.
And I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me answer it.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna let that go. You are, shoot, I might even holler at you if we weren't on the opposite sides. She like it. But now she got to get back in character. Let's see.
I am, and I think that
wow. My own husband doesn't talk to me like that. You know what? That's a breath of fresh air. But anyway, let's get back to your racism and stuff.
if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were making unsubstantiated claims that had racist undertones about people eating dogs and cats.
Racist undertones. Where does all this come from? Because you say they're racist undertones? That's what it is. But notice though, the attitude is gone. She left the attitude. It's I still got to go through my script, but I'm still caught up with the fact that you checked me. Oh, wow. So what was I saying again? Oh yeah, the chickens and racist the undertones and stuff. Hey, could you say what you had just said a minute ago, like you said it? No, I'm sorry. Let me get back to the racist undertones and stuff. So now here she is saying racist undertones, all of that, because we are here to say that that's your motivation. Of course, you're talking about the ducks and the chickens and stuff because you're racist.
I would, and they didn't answer the questions about that, then I would have similar interactions with them. As you know, I am very grateful that you come on the show, as I am for other Republicans. But this is something that you're hearing from constituents. I did a lot of reporting. I talked to people in Ohio over the weekend, and they're really worried about these claims. The policies, yes, I am agreeing with you that what I heard is that there is concern that these migrants, there's a lot of them, and the integration isn't being done fast enough and well enough. Just once and for all.
Now look, so after that right there, she ends, because remember, the person in that earpiece is like, all right, look, y'all done kind of strayed off. Y'all start talking about some other stuff. But what we want to do, we want to close out and leave it in the mind of all of the folks watching. The ducks, the chickens, and the cats. Close out with that. Okay, go right back to that, Dana. Try to push him on that one more time before we go, because that's the narrative we want to focus on.
You, again, started this in part by saying that, at which Donald Trump repeated on the debate stage, that, and he didn't say anything about the policies that you're talking about. He just said Haitians are eating dogs and cats. Can you affirmatively say that that is a rumor that has no basis with evidence?
Dana, the evidence is the firsthand account of my constituents who are telling me that this happened. And by the way, I've been trying to talk about the problems in Springfield for months.
And why is that so important to her and the left? for them to come out and say there's no basis. Do they ever do that with Kamala? That you've been saying that Donald Trump said there were good people on both sides. Are you ready now to come out and say that there is no basis for that and that is untrue? It's been fact checked a million times. Are you ready now to say that it's a lie? You've been saying that Donald Trump called all of the soldiers suckers and losers, but that's been disputed. Are you now ready to come out and say there's no evidence, no hardcore, and no basis for that? Why don't they do that to Chameleon? Nope. She ain't gonna do that to Chameleon, but she is gonna do it to him.
And the American media ignored it. There was a congressional hearing just last week.
Don't bend the knee,
of
JD.
Angel moms who lost children because Kamala Harris let criminal migrants into this country who then murdered their children. The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to, create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because you guys are completely letting Kamala Harris coast.
Now look at that. He said create stories. Watch how she tries to interpret what he said. I saw it in her eyes as soon as he said it. She was like, did he just say, oh shoot, watch me go ahead and, did you just say you created the story? That's what she gonna try to flip it and say.
You had one interview with her. You talk about pushing back against me, Dana. You didn't push back against the fact that she cast the deciding vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which is why
all she's thinking about what he just said.
In housing.
You just said that you're creating a story.
Oh my gosh, they're so fake. That man's talking about some serious stuff. She's just like, they're in her ear like, did repeat asking me, did he just create the story? Did he say that? That's what she's doing. What she's hearing right now coming out of him is wah 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 wah, and in her ears like, all right, that man just said he created the story. Let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and get it in an angle and try to say that, hey, so what you're saying is you made it up? Is that what you're saying? No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying that by him saying it creates all these stories in the news, just like what's happening right here. You dummies are bringing him on here to talk about the chickens, the ducks, the cats, and the geese. And what he's doing is taking advantage of it to talk about what's going on down there in Springfield. So in a sense, he's creating the news story.
Policy.
Sorry, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
You just said that this is a story that you created. So then the eating dogs and cats thing is not.
Dana, it comes from firsthand accounts from my constituents. I say that we're creating a story, meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it. I didn't create.
In other words, we're playing you dummies. You guys think you're bringing me on to badger us and accuse us of cats and chickens and stuff being eaten and causing racism and causing death threats. And all you're doing is opening up the door for me to let your audience know how horrible these policies are and what they're doing to the people. And I don't care how much you try to get back to the geese. I'm going to say, all right, look, first of all, there's a basis for it, but let's get back to the real meat and potatoes while you're over here playing around, on the farm here with the geese and the ducks and the chickens.
20,000 illegal migrants coming into Springfield, thanks to Kamala Harris's policies. Her policies did that, but yes, we created the actual focus that allowed the American media to talk about this story and the suffering caused by Kamala Harris's policies.
Do you condemn the Proud Boys, even if it's just 12, even if it's just one marching in Springfield?
Do they ever ask, do you condemn Antifa? Democrats, even if it's like 1,300 of them rioting and breaking windows out and burning down stuff. Do you condemn Antifa? Do y'all condemn Black Lives Matter for burning down buildings and stuff like that? Do y'all condemn them? Why don't they ask those? It's unbelievable. Out of all of that, what does she want to talk about? 12 Proud Boys, which I'm still thinking, what are y'all talking about? The Proud Boys, but nonetheless. 12 Proud Boys, and then, of course, she wants to talk about the ducks, the chickens, and stuff like that. In other words, she wants to try to paint the right as radical, as supporting hate groups, as pushing all type of radicalization and all of this stuff. That's what she wants.
Dana, I condemn all white supremacists. I'm obviously not. I'm married to a non-white person. I don't like these people, but I think that we have to keep our focus. Not 12 marchers going down the street, but on the fact that thousands of residents have had their lives destroyed by Kamala Harris's policy. I find.
Sorry about that. Every once in a while, Gizmo try to put Nala in check. If she gets a little too playful, then I got to put him in check. Because if he mess around and hurt the baby. Did he scare you? Gizmo scared. He being mean to Nala? Yeah, no. Shh. I gotta pet her so she can feel it. I gotta pet her so she can feel it. See? There you go. Can you feel that? Can you feel it? Yeah, when you gotta get down deep so they can feel it. There you go. You feel that? There we go. Now stay away from Gizmo, okay? Because he can be mean sometimes. There you go. And Gizmo, you cut it out. Don't look that way. Sorry, I'm over here managing some stuff. All right. He said I'd be jealous too. He is jealous. Yeah, she forgets. She goes over and bites his tail and pulls his tail and stuff, and then he gets mad. But I can't let her fight.
It's very unusual.
Now, let's get back
the
to this.
American media is more interested in a bunch of losers marching down the street than they are in the fact that Kamala Harris has made these people's lives worse. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, and they're not more worried. The people aren't worried about that stuff. It's them. It's Dana Trash and the rest of them bringing up the Proud Boys. It could be one crazy KKK member somewhere, and they'll go, let's forget about all of the thousands of peaceful protesters. There's a KKK member over there. You condemn that one KKK member over there? Does that show that you're drawing people in here that are hateful? And is that, how did you even, I didn't even see that, but nonetheless, yes, okay, fine. I condemn the KKK man over there. Was he one of them? We're not the KKK. Isn't that the Democrats? Or how do I know that wasn't James Comey under that hood? How do I know that wasn't Christopher Wray up under there? Who knows? But nonetheless, they're always trying to find some angle to say, look at the rhetoric Donald Trump is saying, and all these hate groups and stuff are being motivated by your rhetoric and what you guys are saying and stuff like that. So now he's going to have to end her career.
12 Proud Boys. I'm talking about 40,000 residents, 40,000 constituents of
That's
mine.
nothing.
Many of
She
whom
don't care
can't
about
afford
that. It's
housing
the
and
12
food
Proud
because
Boys.
of Kamala Harris's open border. That is what I want to focus the media's attention on. We're going to keep on doing it because I think the American people deserve a government that puts their interests first. Can I make just one more final point about this, Dana?
Yes, please.
You've heard a lot of the media focusing on every possible distraction from the story in Springfield. You've heard them focus on these Proud Boys marches. You've heard just in this interview, Dana, the suggestion that because some psychopath is calling it a bomb threat, somehow we have to then ignore 40,000 Springfieldians
That's not what
who
I
are
suggested.
having their lives
You hear
worsened
that?
by.
That's not what I suggested. Did y'all hear that? Now you know we're going to have to check her work. That's not what I suggested.
By Kamala Harris's policies. Well, what is the implication, Dana? I actually love to have this conversation right
She
now.
wasn't ready. She wasn't ready for him to stop and say, okay, so then what are you suggesting? And what's your implication? Why did you bring it up again? So watch what she try to do, y'all.
Now live on air.
Right.
What is the implication when you say you calling out these problems has caused a bomb threat? You accused me of causing a bomb threat. Doesn't that mean you should shut up about the residents of Springfield? Don't you realize you're engaged in basic propaganda?
JD is tearing into the rib right now. Forget the abuse of the geese. Somebody call the police. Because she's the one right now just getting beat up. Yeah. What are you saying when you said that, Dan? What did you mean? What was the implications of that, Dana? Trash. That's not what I said. I was just saying somebody else has said it. No, that's not what you said. Because we're going to check your work.
Silence the concerns of American citizens.
I was quoting the actual mayor of Springfield, Ohio, begging after the bomb threats, begging federal officials, to please stop putting negative attention on his city. And I'm not talking about the policies. I'm not talking about the very real challenges that Springfield has.
Now, was that what the mayor said? Did he mention JD? That's what I was wondering. Did he mention JD? I don't understand. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and hear what JD has to say.
I'm talking about baseless rumors about Haitians eating dogs and cats.
Now, did the mayor say that? He just said negative attention, on the city. And he's asking, he didn't mention nothing about no chickens. He didn't mention nothing about that. She inserted the chickens, the cats and stuff, because that's what she wants her audience to focus on. That's what she wants to accuse JD and Trump of, saying things about these immigrants based on chickens and stuff like that, because you're stereotyping them and you're racist. You want us to think that all of them are down there with bones and stuff through their nose, and they got chicken and bones and stuff, throwing them on a plate, and voodoo and witchcraft, all of that. Yeah. That's what you want. Barrettes in the hair, like on Tom and Jerry when he used to get blown up. You got the big lips and he's all black and stuff, and he got the barrettes in the hair. Yeah, that's what you want. That's what you guys see when you think about the Haitians down there in Springfield. Yeah, so now she adds in things like the chickens, the geese and the cats and stuff. She said that. And she's quoting, though, the mayor. Like the mayor said all of that. Like he called out J.D. Vance by name, then inserted the fact that, and it's the reason all this violence is taking place is because he keeps talking about these cats and these dogs and stuff being eaten. Did the mayor say that, or did Dana say it?
And that, after that was said on a debate stage, that is when these bomb threats started.
And JD's like, you know what? You act like I'm stupid. You're not playing with a lightweight. That's why I think they don't want J.D. Vance to debate Tim Walz. Because J.D. Vance is picking these people off one by one. He's going on these networks like, I want some. I know what I'm walking into. I'm coming straight in there like a gladiator. Like, is there anyone else? That's what he's doing. He's rolling up in there like, is there anyone else? And I'm loving it. So I know they're going, man, if he's doing us like this, and we specialize in propaganda, he's going to eat tampon to pieces. So let's go ahead.
And that is a fact. Senator, I just want to move on. I have two other quick
No. Where you going? Where you going, huh? I want to do a hit and run. Now, I want to move on. I got something else to talk about, but I'm going to leave that in the minds of my audience. But JD is not going to let her do it.
Issues separate from this that I want to talk to you about.
Dana,
go ahead. Again, please go ahead.
I think this is actually an important conversation.
Okay.
Look, the Springfield mayor, he's dealing with a lot of terrible things. I certainly sympathize with the guy, and we're going to try to help him out. But he did not accuse me of inciting a bomb threat. He just didn't. And if we're going to take the firsthand accounts of people who are on the ground in Springfield, why don't you bring on some of the people on your program who say that the migrants are eating their pets? You're applying a
because they don't want that. They're trying to make it look like it's all a lie and a rumor, inspired by you and Donald Trump with your evilness and all of your racism and stuff. Yeah, you think they trying to find out the facts to that? Nah, man. They will take the testimony of anybody who says it ain't happening without question. Without question. However, they have no idea what inspired the guy who attempted to assassinate Trump. They have no idea who inspired that. They have no idea. Even though he said exactly a quote that we hear come out of Kamala Harris and all the Democrats and the fake news. Even though he said that, but we don't know. There's no evidence of a connection. We can't see how it might connect and stuff. We don't want to jump the gun, but we will jump it here. We're going to say 33 of all of these bomb threats and death threats and stuff are all because of you and Trump talking about these cats and dogs and stuff. Only to find out today, though, that all 33 of them were hoaxes. Wow.
Double standard here. You're saying if one person accuses JD Vance, I'm going to take that person's word as the gospel truth,
you have somebody
even if you misrepresent it. If you have another person who's saying they're eating the cats, you're going to completely ignore them, attack them, silence them, and harass them. That double standard is why the people don't trust the media.
Exactly, JD. Give her an earful on the way out, man. Tell her about herself and her fake network that she works for. Dana Trash. Of course, they're not going to try to fact check that. They're not going to go down there and do no hard-hitting reporting. No, man. They're propagandists, okay? And this is a tool that they use to not only demonize their political opponent, but also silence them from even talking about it, because then they put the whole "you're putting people in danger" label on it. You can't talk about these. So basically, let bad stuff happen to anybody and don't say nothing, because you could be putting somebody in danger. You could be putting somebody in it. And it always applies to the Democrats. Always applies to them. all of the stuff they do, soon as you criticize one of their policies, either you're putting they themselves in danger, or the people in danger. So now she's going to give one last attempt to say, I ain't do nothing.
Why we're not talking about public policy 51 days out from a presidential election.
Okay, if you have somebody you want to tell us about who has proof that somebody ate their cat, of course we want to hear that. We certainly have had no evidence that that is actually something that happened. And I just want to say, I have not accused you of anything. I am quoting the mayor who said, after these bomb threats, federal politicians are negatively spinning our city. They need to know they are hurting our city. It was their words that did it.
Now, did y'all hear J.D. Vance mentioning that? No? Okay. Did y'all hear anything about cats and dogs mentioned in that statement? I'm quoting the mayor, and she just read his quote, but let's go ahead and check out her quote.
Okay, that I'm quoting him, and it seems to be a cause and effect.
Roll the tape. You just accused me of inciting a bomb threat. There's no evidence of this. I condemn violence and threats of violence. We should be able to do that and also still talk about what's going on in Springfield.
Well, then dang it, let's roll the tape.
Let's see that in this replay. You're the senator from Ohio, so instead of saying things that are wrong and actually causing the hospitals, the schools, the government buildings to be evacuated because of bomb threats.
Saying things that are wrong and causing all of these places to be evacuated with bomb threats and what?
Because of the cats and dogs.
Because of the cats and the dogs.
Thing.
Because of the cats and the dog thing. Wow. She wanted us to roll the tape. So we had to roll it. That's exactly what she said. That's her mission. She came out to attack them and to say that it's because of you guys and your baseless claims and your racism and all of this. Yeah, you guys are putting these people in danger. So stop talking about it. Forget all the other stuff. Because of these cats and dog accusations, that's the kipper. That was the one that pushed these radical extremists, these right-wingers over the edge. If you would have stopped at just the fact that Kamala Harris and her policies and all of them flooded these folks with a lot of immigrants from dang on Haiti that took up all their resources and wrecking cars and acting rude and creating chaos. If you would have just stopped at that, we would have nothing to say, right? Fake news. I mean, it was only the fact that we're saying. The only reason we even saying something is because y'all keep talking about these cats and dogs and chickens and stuff. Because that's the wick that was stuck inside the bomb. That was the wick. It was all y'all talking about the cats and stuff. That was it right there. As soon as y'all start doing that, other than that, everything was cool. Please. That was the cleanup. That was the cleanup narrative. They knew that the real narrative is, oh crap. They're pointing out Democrat policies being horrific for these people. How can we clean this up and distract folks from that? Let's talk about the cats and the dogs and the Proud Boys, all 13 or 12 of them or something like that. So JD did a wonderful job, and I got more of him doing exactly that. I love when he gets on there and do that to them. And some other clips that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. So come back, man. Same time, same place. I'll be back here tomorrow at 7 o'clock, Lord willing. And we'll jump back in, man. Maybe we can clear some of this up and get some more details about this extreme right-winger MAGA hat wearing guy who tried to assassinate Donald Trump, right? That's who it is? Yeah, right. So anyway, so thanks for listening to me. Thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Share this video. Share all my videos. Check out all my videos. Hey, I just uploaded a new video and they're stepping on the gas. I mean, the brakes rather on it. It's dealing with a case in Springfield. I uploaded one where the lady who gave that testimony kind of retracted some stuff. Then I uploaded another one, I think the same day or maybe the next morning, dealing with the father of Caden Clark, I think his name is. I uploaded that. And he, of course, is attacking J.D. Vance and Trump and some Republicans, you know, instead of saying, whoa, it's these Democrat policies that, you know, led to my son's death, really. I mean, it's unbelievable, this kid. So check that video out. Let's get that rotating. If you haven't seen it or you didn't get a notification for it, so just go to my channel. It should be right there at the top because I just uploaded it yesterday. So please check it out because it's obvious that they're not sending out the notification for it. All right. Don't forget, text MAGA to this number if you want to support the channel. I got a Cash App, PayPal below, or you can just purchase some of the merch. I'd appreciate it. And you guys are amazing too. Thank you, Michelle. Take care. All right, now wait. Come here, Gizmo. I love you too. Yes, right. Gizmo got mad. He's like, this is awesome. Yeah. Tear up the place, yeah. Take it. Oops, sorry. Put him down a little too hard, y'all. The landing. He didn't stick it. It's his fault. Should have cat-like reflexes.